Good morning, everyone. We're going to talk about spirits today and the loved ones that have passed on in your life. Um, you know, the spirits, they never die. Like the spirit of God, the Holy Ghost, or the human spirit. It never dies. The past loved ones that have passed on in my life. Um, you know, my mother. Let's just go ahead and talk about it. My mother, I believe she still kind of visits me. She's still tethered to me, even though she's moved on with her life. She's moved on from this world. I still believe she still talks to me in certain ways, and this and that. And it just happens to be my topic of discussion. And I listened to someone else today talk about their side of it, and I agree with them because I've had a lot of the same things happen to me. But I'll tell you what happened this weekend. First of all, let me jump back. My mother, before she passed, one of the last things she said to me, and I hate this that she said this to me, but it's true. I needed to clean up my act before she passed. She was worried about me. I had a job and everything, but I had just spent about about 3 or 4 months before that. I just got back from rehab, and she was worried about me. She knew I had the drinking bug, and it came from her side of the family. And she told me, she was like, Shane, get your ass together. And whenever you start working, work your butt off and just stick to it and make something of yourself. And I already had, I just kind of fell off because, I was an electrician for years, and, I did pretty decent with that and made my money when it came in and had money when it wasn't around. And then I really fell off. And then around that time, I was just kind of getting my life back together a little bit. I had a job at the time, and she was just like, listen, I'm tired of worrying about you. So, and that sucks. That was, but she did that out of love. She was till her last day, the day before she passed. She told me that, and she was just teaching me. So I appreciate you, Mother. I love you very much. But anyway, so he's talking. My buddy was talking about spirits, the human spirit that lives on, even when you pass. I believe my mother is tethered to me in my dreams, in certain things that you say and do. And just so happens, I've been tinkering around, drinking a little bit here and there, controlling it, doing pretty good about it, not getting out of hand or anything. But Saturday, I kind of poured it on a little stronger than I usually do. I was literally sitting in the kitchen, and my buddy can vouch for this. This is not a lie. I was sitting in the kitchen, and we have a spice rack in the corner of the kitchen on the counter. And on the spice rack, the spice literally jumped off the rack and hit the kitchen counter and rolled. And I stood there and I go, I asked my buddy Jay, I was like, hey, did you see that? He goes, I just saw it rolling, but he goes, what was that? And I was like, that was some spice jumping off the spice rack that literally jumped off. There's a little rail on there. It jumped over the rail and hit the kitchen counter and started rolling. I can't make this up. And he was like, huh? And he was like, how is that possible? And I was like, I don't know. I was like 4 or 5 feet away from him. I was standing in front of the oven. So I didn't touch it. The house didn't shake. There was no earthquake. And that was the only thing it was like only one thing, and nothing else moved at all. It just jumped off and smacked the counter. And I'm not trying to make this a big, freaky, scary spiritual thing or anything like that, freak people out or anything. But I believe that was my mother being like, hey, pay attention. I don't really like what's going to happen to you, because I ended up drinking too much Saturday. And then if you watch my content on Sunday, I talked about Galatians 5:21 through 23 and how I was going to stop it. So anyways, I'm sober today. I was sober yesterday. So that's what happened to me this weekend, and don't want to freak anybody out, but spirits do live on, and they are around us. So I just want to say this: love you, Mother, and I want to pray for everyone that is struggling with sobriety today. You know, we can stick this out. We can stick together. I encourage you guys, if you have some sort of meetings to go to or anything that you can do to help with your sobriety, get a sponsor, whatever, you know, it's time for us to do those things. So love each other, be good to each other, and 150 AM, we were with him. Love you guys. Bye-bye.